What's going on, everyone? It's time for another slasher horror film review. Today we're going to talk about the new Thanksgiving. So this is an Eli Roth movie. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving to all my American viewers out there. Now, I live in Canada, so we celebrate Thanksgiving in October. But since it's American Thanksgiving, I thought Thanksgiving would be a good Thanksgiving film to review. So, yeah, this is an Eli Roth slasher film that came out last year, and let's talk about it. So, Thanksgiving was released by TriStar Pictures November 17th, 2023, and it was written and produced by Jeff Riddell, produced by uh, Roger Berman, sorry, and produced and directed by Eli Roth, who he's obviously done like Hostel, the Green Inferno. He produced Borderlands, and he also did the movie Knock Knock. This had a budget of $15 million. So this is a slasher film, and boy, is it ever a good one. So this is definitely a gorier movie than most of the other modern slashers out there. And yeah, so this is about a family who owns a like big retail store, sort of like a Walmart, and well, on Black Friday, a huge mob comes and some people actually die and get trampled and stuff. And the next year, a murderer comes out and seeks revenge on the owners and their friends and everyone who is part of it as an act of revenge, and goes and starts killing a lot of the people that are there, and puts their corpses around for a Thanksgiving dinner at a dinner table. Overall, this film does have some really good stuff. The cinematography is really good, and the music is very well done. And I actually really enjoyed this film. It's actually one of the way better movies out of here. Also, this film is probably gorier than Terrifier 3, just to say. And yeah, the kills in this are outstanding. There's some really good ones. At first, it seemed kind of lame with the first two, but as the film goes on, there's a girl that gets thrown on a table saw and guts ripped out. A guy goes and kills people through a Thanksgiving Day parade going on and goes really batshit crazy through it, like sort of like the Joker in the Dark Knight franchise, and just it's very visceral and very brutal when he attacks. And it goes. He's also dressed as the American founder of Thanksgiving or whatever his name is, and yeah, the costume itself looks really good. And you don't reveal it to the end, but the problem with this movie is the killer is so easy to pick out. Now, if you've watched closely, you can figure out the killer probably within the first half hour of the movie, like I did. If you're not accustomed to it, though, it'll be a good mystery for all of you. And I actually thought it was pretty well done. The practical effects and everything work really well with this, and it's definitely a good breath of fresh air when it comes to slasher films and stuff. Like recently, Smile 2, probably one of the worst movies ever, and now watching this was such a relief, and it was just so good. I was so into it, and that it's a pretty basic story, but overall, I thought, and basic characters, but overall, I thought this film was really well done and deserves a lot more praise than it's get. And you should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. I'm not sure where it's streaming at, but I'll link the trailer down below so you can check it out. But I'm going to give Thanksgiving a 4.5 out of 5. It was a lot of fun and definitely one of the way better movies to come out this in the last like 2 or 3 years at least. It was a really well done movie, and besides some like easy red herrings you could pick out and that, but everything else is very satisfying. And if you like slashers, this is definitely one for you to check out. And like I said, I'm not sure where it's streaming, so I'll link the trailer down below so you can at least check that out. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram. It's linked down below. That's where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. Just put the film title in there and some fun fact history thing in there as well. Also, I'm Canadian, and this was filmed in a town. Half of it was filmed in a town called Port Perry, which is about half an hour from me. So it was really cool to see, because I actually went there when I heard there's a filming going on and trying to figure out what it was. And I knew it was a Thanksgiving movie. At first I thought it was a comedy, but it was good to see that it was this movie. And yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Like, it's been filmed here in Canada and like close to where I am and stuff. A lot of good movies have been. And I thought that was a pretty cool thing to throw in there too. But also, make sure you check out my Letterbox. That's linked down below. That's where I post I Letterbox is where I post the first star rating right after watching the film. So my Twitter's down below, reviews underscore Derek. So follow me on those platforms. Stay in loop with this channel. Like this video, share some more people aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. If you have any films or film franchises in any genre and on any streaming service that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can and if I can find them. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. Hope you find something weird to see you an odd day, but I never thought checking out together, and also sharing my opinions on popular films that have come out, classic films, and reviews on other things as well. And don't forget to ring that bell because we're going to do another horror thriller, more psychological though, called Shelter. It's also known as Sick Souls on some sites. So we're going to be talking about that in the next review. So make sure you tune in for that. Watch out for all those crazy killers lurking on trying to kill people during Thanksgiving because, well, cannibals are around, and that happens probably more frequently than we think. And I guess I'll see you all in the next review. But also, I just wanted to say one thing I forgot to mention is there's a lot of good homages to some really good slashers, like Happy Birthday to Me and films of that nature. This one definitely falls in that category, one of the more brutal, visceral slasher films. So definitely check this one out. And till the next one, cheers.